Hello and welcome to this Warcraft replay. This is going to be the second game of this best of 3. Yep, I did check what Tara's other name was. It was indeed 120. I was afraid that I was going to get that wrong because there was another numbered named guy in WCA 2014, but it wasn't 120. His name was 3, and then yeah, you see my dilemma here. I was confused that I would mix them up. So 120 is indeed his other name, or other alias, whatever you would like to call. Anyway, game 2, here on the map, Twisted Meadows. Shun is going to be spawning in as the light blue undead player in the top left. As far as I can see, it looks pretty standard. We have to see if the Tomb of Relics is going to go down next, or if he goes for that graveyard. Actually, I think the graveyard comes much earlier than this, so it is probably going to be Tomb of Relics. There we go. On the other side, in the top right position, we have Tara spawning in as the blue undead. He is going for the very similar build path, and yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that game 1 wasn't dictated by the opening, cause I don't think Shun got any clear advantage out by rushing Crypt Fiends at all. I was actually scared that he was gonna fall behind because he went tier 3 later. But the decision to go Lich earlier than Tara, I think, was game changing enough. I would say. I'm trying to like find the words in my vocabulary list, but why can't it just be simple? Yeah. I also think that Tara not really focusing too much levels onto that Lich. I mean, he's been like level 2 versus Shun's level 3 for a little bit of a while, and kind of lost a couple of fights because of that, so maybe. I mean, let's not forget the fact that Shun's Lich was plus 20 attack with 2 gloves. No, let's completely forget about that. Standard start from both players. We have Acolytes scouting around for both sides. I believe that Tara was able to spot Shun, but at the same time Shun was able to, you know, deduct where that Acolyte came from. And here we go. And he's gonna find out that nothing's really different. Both players actually simultaneously went tier 2. We are gonna have a little bit of harassment here. Shun actually getting very good harassment off on Tara. The Nubian Tower is not actually in range to counteract this sort of harassment. The Acolytes are being forced to get out. The Ghouls are also being forced to, you know, devote themselves to fending off this attack. And thankfully Tara does not lose an Acolyte, although at the same time, like, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We have the scouting Acolyte anyway, so even if the Acolyte was killed off, all it's gonna do is give Shun some experience. So once again, Shun applying a lot of pressure. Definitely not something we've seen in game 1, because both players pretty much ended up, you know, farming for a very long time. Acolyte actually being taken out. So I would say first blood for Shun, but Tara does seem to have a lot more experience. And I'm trying to wonder where he actually got that bit of experience. I don't know. Surely it couldn't have been, you know, all those skeletons. That would just be absurd. So I wish I knew. Cripping was definitely not there, and of course no ghouls were taken, so I guess it was just skeletons, because there's no other explanation. Crypt coming out for Shun, and of course coming out for Tara, maybe. We have 1. Tara has 2. No. Tara has 1, Shun has 2. I really don't like getting these names mixed up. It's not like these names are even similar in any you know reasoning. Death Knight of Shun actually fairly low, but I don't know if Tara can actually kill. Of course, the scroll of TV scroll is available. Both players are going to get dibs level 2, so Unholy Roar has been attained. Now, who is going to get the Null Overseer? That is the big question. It can easily go to either player. I guess Tara has the advantage because he's closer to the Overseer constantly. But he's not going to do anything about it. Instead, he's not going to win this fight because it is 2 versus 3 on Crypt Fiends. But of course, if Shun does lose his Death Knight, then that is a very big blunder. I have no idea who got it, but I'm going to assume Tara did. But he received so much damage that he's going to be forced to TB scroll out. Thankfully, he was able to pick up the item at the same time. It is going to be the Circlet of Nobility. Yeah, nobility. Don't know why that word is difficult, but I guess I was just trying to be fancy or something like that. Slaughterhouse for both players. Very, very similar timing, although there's like maybe 2 or 3 seconds apart. Of course, Tara does not have his Lich out, I don't think. Does he not? He does not. Oh dear, that is going to be a shame because yeah, Shun's not going to care. He is actually, well, instead he's not going to care. It's more like he's going to be exhilarated by this fact. Tara doesn't have the resources for another for a Lich. He actually used most of his resources to catch up in Crypt Fiend numbers, so this is looking bad. Surprisingly, Shun is still being pushed away. Tara needs to be careful with his Death Knight. He doesn't have any form of invulnerability, no TP scroll whatsoever. This is a really, really tough situation for Tara to be in. Shun, even though his Death Knight is fairly low, he can still, you know, take advantage of the Blight, as he is also an undead player. Level 3 actually being gained on the Death Knights, so level 2 Death Coils are available. Of course, they can only be used for healing. Alright, Black Citadel has been completed for both players. Yep. 37 versus 29. I'm assuming that Shun has an additional... No, it's because he has a statue and of course they Lich out. That's the only differences in supply here. It's really unfortunate that Tara was not able to match the timing with his Lich and tier 3. That's going to put him behind quite severely. And you can see whatever items are being picked up by the Death Knight, it has to be sold because, you know, you just gotta get that extra gold. Dark Ranger coming out for Shun, and I mean he's in a good spot here. He's in a fair amount of a lead. I highly doubt he is gonna drop it anytime soon. I mean, what would the main factor of dropping the lead would be? I guess losing both the Death Knight and Lich like in a fight. That's the only way I can see him losing. Alari's Fluid of Accuracy has been picked up by Tara. It's a very, very tough situation to be in because you really need that extra bit of gold to get that Dark Ranger, or in Tara's case, on the Ziggurat. Never mind, Ziggurat has been placed down. Dark Ranger might be coming out for Tara here. Is he gonna sell that Fluid of Accuracy? It's very desirable, especially in a comp like, you know, standard undead comp where you have pretty much destroyers and Crypt Fiends. You want that True Shot aura, but it does seem like Tara did sell that Hilarious Fluid of Accuracy. I guess the 10% increase in damage is not as impactful as the 200 gold that you get. Sad. A-bomb coming out for Tara. I guess he just wants, you know, a big beefy front line to deal with this, but of course when destroyers get into the battlefield, then those A-bombs do nothing. They do something. They eat a lot of damage. But yeah, if they're gonna eat a lot of damage, but you know, destroyers still can't be dealt with, there's no point. I think. I don't know. Level 3 Lich, level 3 Death Knight versus level 4 level 1. That is a disgusting difference here. I mean, Dark Ranger levels is pretty much irrelevant at this point as long as you have silence at level 1. Again, another factor why Tara didn't do so well in game 1 was, you know, actually was Tara? No, Tara did pick silence at level 1 last game. Never mind. I don't remember who picked silence first. Pretty sure it was the top right player, and the top right player was Shun. Big battle coming out for both players. The destroyer is gonna get taken out by Tara, I believe. That was Shun's destroyer. His other destroyer was also webbed, but not much damage is actually being dealt to it. Death Knight of Tara is actually pretty healthy, but no mana means no healing. Invulnerability potion is available for the Lich. He will indeed use it, but the Death Knight of Shun also has an invulnerability potion, able to toss out at least one more death coil. Meanwhile, Tara needs to get himself a mana pot. In fact, a lot of burst being dealt to Shun's Death Knight, forcing him to TP scroll away, not before sniping the Lich of Tara. Okay, that's a bit of a goodie there. Destroyer form has just started. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty bad. Even though Shun was forced to TP scroll out, the fact that Tara lost his Lich at the same time, that was like the creamy, that was the cherry on top. Yeah. Shade out for Shun as well. He just wants that map control. I'm not gonna hold my breath on Frost Realms here because they're just so fragile against this comp. We gotta look at the upgrades. 1000. So Tara, who has, you know, shown to be a very avid upgrading menace, has not even started. Which is bad, because last game, Shun displayed, you know, despite his upgrades not being on par with Tara's, he can still, you know, win fights without that additional damage. So we shall see how, you know, the reverse happens, where Tara is, you know, less in the upgrade scale and is also losing, because this is a rough fight for him. Black Citadel and Nerubian Tower not dealing as much still I mean, Tara was still forced to TP scroll back anyway, but like, is there gonna be much that is gonna happen? I think Shun is looking to destroy that slaughterhouse and then just run away. That would be the most annoying thing happening, because like Tara retreated. He stopped creeping to retreat, but he didn't fight at all, and he still lost the building. In fact, he lost his tier 2 building, which is a big deal because you can't make any more destroyers, you can't make any more A-bombs. Yeah, at most Tara can only have up to 2 destroyers. We have Shun expanding on the top here, and it is going to be spotted by a skeleton, maybe. Shun's just got this game under control. Like, little advantage leads to a very solid win. Another TP score coming in for Tara. That's almost like 600 to 700 gold used within 5 minutes. That is like really, really unfortunate to happen. Deathcore gonna heal up Crypt Fiends on both sides respectively. We're gonna have a very powerful Frost Nova onto a Death Knight there, but we'll be able to heal up. Maybe? I don't know. Clarity Potion was used, maybe? No, that was Mana Pot. Looks like Shun is slowly pushing his way in. I mean, even though he is gonna struggle in sieging this base, all he needs to do is force his opponent to concede. That's all you need to do. Destroy the army, then you don't have to destroy the base. Lich of Towers, he does have an invulnerability potion which he will indeed use. Silence was used onto the Death Knight of Tara just in case, you know, that sort of instance happens. I believe the Death Knight got himself Sacrificial Pact, which is very bold of him because that pretty much sacrifices a unit entirely. Dark Ranger at level 3, so it's either, you know, stronger Black Arrows or a much more meaningful silence. We are going to have a GG coming in from Tara, so that is going to be a 2-0 sweep once again, with Shun taking the game point. I'll see you guys again next time. It is going to be a long one. Oh dear.